Geraldine was a trailblazer. We all remember the first female vice presidential nominee of a major party, the first in U.S. history. She cracked open that glass ceiling for women seeking higher office. She proved without question that women can stand up to the grilling, women can stand up to the pressure, women can go toe-to-toe with anybody. You know, I often say women are equal. We're not better or worse. We're equal. And Jerry proved it when her campaign took a tough turn, and a lot of others would have just tried to contain the problem. She stood there in front of the press and said, "Here I am. You ask me anything you want, and I will stay here hour after hour." And you knew she meant it. She would have stayed there for days, because that was Jerry. She was open-hearted. She was straight from the shoulder. She always said what was on her mind, and she did it in a way that was also very appealing, because you knew this was a woman who was willing to look you in the eye and not give you any song and dance. I mean, it was what it was. And for that, she will be missed as a friend, as a colleague. And it is just difficult today to imagine what it was like then. Now, you know, we see our women figures here in the Senate and in the president's cabinet and in the Republican and Democratic parties making run for president or vice president. And it's hard to imagine a day that women were not actively engaged in the highest of offices. And frankly, that is Geraldine Ferraro's abiding legacy. Because as Senator Mikulski so eloquently stated, she didn't win that race. It was a tough race. It was a very tough race. But she proved a woman could do this. And when Jerry spoke about change, she felt in her heart the history-making moment. I remember her in a white suit. It was as if it was yesterday. And I remember saying, in those years, TV's people always said, "Don't wear white." Jerry wore white. She looked beautiful. She was magnificent. And that smile and her togetherness at this moment in history, when not only was the whole country watching, the whole world was watching. It was an electric moment. And I want to read what she said that night. She said, quote, "By choosing a woman to run for our nation's second highest office, you sent a powerful signal to all Americans. There are no doors we cannot unlock. We will place no limits on our achievements. If we can do this, we can do anything." After graduation from college, Jerry got a job as a second-grade teacher at a public school in Queens. She applied to Fordham Law School. That's the law school my husband went to. She was accepted into the night program. Despite a warning, listen to this, from an admissions officer that she might be taking a man's place. She got into law school. She was one of 2 women in a class of 179. Imagine they said to her, "You will be taking a man's place in law school." But she persevered, one of just 2 women out of 179 students graduating in 1960. When Jerry worked as an assistant district attorney, she formed a special victims bureau, investigated rape, child and women abuse, abuse against the elderly, at a time when no one was talking about it. She was elected to Congress. Senator Mikulski has gone into that, the work on the Women's Health Equity Act. I remember that Senator Mikulski, Olympia Snowe, Jerry Ferraro, and myself, we worked to open up the House gym to women. It was a battle. We had to resort to singing and everything else. We finally got into the House gym. We said, yes, women need to work out too. That's the way it was then. We only had 24 women in the House and Senate. Now we have 88 of us. Now, I'll skip over her time as a broadcaster and all the things she did that Senator Mikulski talked about, her work in human rights. But I want to just conclude with her brave, brave, brave spirit as she faced multiple myeloma, the bone cancer that ultimately took her life. And I want to do it in this context. I have a good friend now whose name is Robin, And her mother is battling the same kind of cancer that Jerry's battling. And as we know, Jerry was given 4 or 5 years and went on, thank God, for much longer. This woman lives far away from her daughter, Robin. And when Jerry passed, she called her. And she said, I need to see you. Will you come out and stay with me as I battle this cancer? And Robin said, well, what is it? Mom, you're doing great. And she said, we just lost Jerry, and she was the one who kept my heart and soul together and my spirits up, and I knew she was there battling. And now that I've lost her, she said, I've lost her. I don't know. I feel a hole. I'm empty. And that just is the most eloquent thing I could say about Jerry. Now, this woman never met Geraldine Ferraro in person, but Jerry had that way about her that she could reach you as if she was touching you. And it's a tremendous loss, first and foremost for the family, who she adored beyond words, and secondly for all the rest of us who just need someone like that out there standing up and being brave and telling it like it is and never giving up.